Ooh, I love that. Ooh, they gave me a microphone. It's going to be shenanigans today. Good morning, eMerge. It is amazing to be here on the second day. We outside. We haven't been able to say that in a while. I'm not going to do the Jadakiss voice because my voice isn't raspy enough today. If there are any young people within the sound of my voice who are here for the Nifty event, who are guests of Nifty, we'd love to have you over by the satellite launchpad stage. We'll be having a conversation with some of our amazing alumni who recently just competed in our Founders Forum. I'm going to go ahead and get them up on the stage. They're going to talk a little bit about their business, go through their pitches, and then take some questions and field some questions from the audience. If you don't mind, Kristen, you're up. Javon, you're up. Daniel, come on and join me. Actually, we'll start with Kristen first. You're first. Before we go into that, for those of you who are not familiar with us, first and foremost, my name is Daniel Williams. I'm a program manager for the Nifty team here in the Southeast region, which basically covers all the way from West Virginia down to Florida. Nifty is an organization we just celebrated last week, our 35th year of empowering young people with the entrepreneurial mindset, which is a set of characteristics we've discovered help young people to not only own their future, but also to chart their own path. So we're pretty passionate about the work that we do here in the schools, and we absolutely love what we do. The team is here. I'm here. We have some amazing alumni here who just participated in our Founders Forum competition recently. These are amazing, distinguished alumni of our program who have actually gone on to launch and actually scale some of their businesses. So we are looking forward to not just listening to what they have to say, but also having an opportunity to really speak to them and talk to them about their journey, about what they learned from the classroom level all the way to what they have actually dealt with in real life. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Miss Christine Ante, and she will come up and speak a little bit about her business, and then we'll go ahead and have her hang out with us as we have a couple of discussions. Kristen, you are welcome to the stage.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today, Nifty. So my name is Kristen Ante, and I'm the founder and CEO of Forest. When we think of the average caretaker, we think of the female figure. But what if I told you there are currently 7 million fathers who are the primary caretaker of their children? And this number continues to grow, yet markets still choose to target the female figure. This is where Forest steps in, where we provide a baby bag that's directed towards men, that's lightweight and fashionable. So what are some of the problems out there in the market right now? Well, pockets are just not easily accessible. So when you are caring for your screaming infant and searching through an endless pit to find an item, every second becomes crucial. In addition, they're oftentimes hard to clean. This becomes a breeding ground for bacteria and something we just want to eliminate altogether. Furthermore, current baby bags and styles are just designed for women. So they exclude the men and don't provide those representation. And if that was not enough, oftentimes current baby bags in the market just require you to use multiple bags, or you have to substitute it. This does not feed the need of the parent. So how is Forest different? Well, we provide the easily accessible pockets. So when you are caring for your child, you can seamlessly dive in with just one hand and reach for whatever item. Additionally, we are designed with a pocket, with a zipper all the way around. This allows you to take one baby bag and to break it up into 2 separate components. This allows you to easily wipe down the surface in just a matter of minutes, rather than waiting for a washer machine or dryer to complete the same task. And we take pride in providing a stylish, modern baby bag. We're challenging the social norms and providing representations to all fathers. And I want to take a moment and just pause and bring light to Dante Palmer. Now, you may have heard of him. Why? Because in 2019, this father became viral for posting a picture of him changing his child in a public restroom. and there was no diaper changing station, so he had to squat down and change his child on his lap. The next morning he woke up and he was an internet sensation and actually caught the eye of Pampers, where they later donated 5,000 diaper changing stations to be allocated towards men's restrooms. Now what happens if you aren't in a public restroom where they have this diaper changing station? Fear not, with Forest, we provide, our baby bag is designed to lay out like a suitcase component. So this means you can easily place your child down on the baby bag and change the diaper this way. This eliminates the need to put the child either down on a countertop or on a bench. And lastly, we don't only design the baby bag with the baby in mind, but for the parent as well. We provide a stylish baby bag that will provide confidence, so you can wear your stylish baby bag for the 9-to-5 job or just on the go. We are currently in our second prototype stage. Through the funding of NFTE, I was able to purchase a sewing machine and actually create my second prototype for my baby bag, as seen here below. Thank you, Javon. We are actually currently working with a baby bag with a designer and trying to solidify our third prototype. So, what is our primary target market? So while our bag is gender neutral, we do want to provide that heavy representation for fathers. So according to the US Census, there are 7 million fathers who are the primary caretaker of their children, and this number continues to grow. And these are some of our photos of our clientele wearing our baby bag. So how do we plan to bring in revenue? Well, this would probably be driven towards using inbound marketing. So we're gonna be leveraging our influencers and online blogs. This will redirect the traffic to our online platform. Furthermore, we'll be in pop-up shops. So this is a lifestyle approach where we'll be able to actively engage with our consumers and gain further feedback. And lastly, we want to be present in some small boutiques, such as in South Florida area. Using this data, we'll be able to solidify our bag even further. So let's look at what makes Forest different from our competitors. We're a where-to-work design, so that 9 to 5. We also have the niche markets of focusing solely on fathers and easily accessible pockets. So when you do lift the flap of the baby bag, you can easily see each component rather than being an endless pit of searching for items. And our competitors, we have Diaper Dude, which is a casual, sporty design. Unfortunately, it is very hefty, and so this provides unnecessary weight towards the parent. And we have Dane Dover, which has an expensive price point that excludes most fathers. And lastly, we have Eddie Bauer, which is a backpack design that actually requires you to use both hands to retrieve an item. So let's take a look at the team. Well, my name is Kristen Ante. I'm a recent graduate from Nova Southeastern University and currently work for the university now as an assistant director for fundraising. We also have Andrea Jackley, which is our designer. She currently works at Alpha Prime, where she designs athletic wear. And lastly, we have Chris Gio, which is my business advisor and retail consultant. Now let's look at the costs. So I plan to sell my baby bag for a total cost of $90, when a cost of goods sold of $33.71. In order to reach the profit margin, we need to sell a total of just 10 bags. And our financial projections. So as most startups, we will actually be negative within our first year due to just the heavy upfront cost of manufacturing the baby bag. We plan to sell 262 bags in our first year. But while we're negative in the first year, this does not deter us. And we're looking forward in projecting into year 3, having a net profit of $20,534, selling 550 baby bags. After conducting market research, I feel confident to ask and seek funding of $25,000 to receive an ROI of roughly 82% by year 3. So let's look at the milestone. I'm currently in my pre-launch phase. So I'm in the process of solidifying the baby bag design with Andrea Jackley. Later on, in my year 1, I plan to establish partnerships with manufacturers and begin the actual production of the baby bag. Moving into our year 3 and to expand different baby bag designs. Due to the baby bag design of having a zipper component all the way around, allowing it to detach into 2 components, it could easily design a different component of the bag so the bag grows with you as your needs for your child changes. And asks, so what will the $25,000 be used for? Well, it'll be used for sampling, materials, production, and manufacturing of the baby bag. But not only that, with using this money, you'll be helping bring Forest to life. And my main goal is to just provide ease for even just one parent. I feel like I've done my job. So thank you so much for listening to me early in this morning today. If you'd like to follow my journey, please scan the QR code up above, and you can actually sign up for future emails and just read a little bit about my journey. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Kristen. We are absolutely thrilled about your journey as a gentleman who has had to learn how to deal with babies lately. It is not easy to carry the largely aimed at the feminine market products, so thank you so very much for thinking about gentlemen like myself. If you want to hang out, next up, we will be talking to another one of our amazing alumni. This young gentleman is been taught by several of our superstars and hails from Broward? Javon Howell, pleasure.
I'm from a lot of places. Alrighty, so I will do a quick intro. Clicker, okay. So anyways, my name is Javon. My company is Shop Howell, where we make e-commerce easy for small businesses. So I'd like to all to meet Jasmine, right? So Jasmine's a 34-year-old nurse living in Chicago, Illinois. Now, while most of us during COVID, we were sitting around watching Netflix, catching up on our reading, Jasmine was hard at work on her company, Parent Co's flagship product, the electrical outlet wall plate cover, right? So this product here boasts several major improvements over the competitor in that it helps babies to be more protected and safe from electrocution. Now, with these features, she thought that basically she would just jump on Amazon and hit it to the first page and be selling thousands. Unfortunately for Jasmine, within 6 months, she found herself barely getting any of them to sell. Worst of all, instead of making her money, she was actually paying Amazon hundreds of dollars in fees just to get her products stowed away in inventory. So what was Jasmine's problem, right? Jasmine was facing an issue that many small businesses face when they go on Amazon. They think it's gonna be easy, but they fail to realize that it's an uphill battle. So her problem was that she had a great product that no one knows about. Secondly, she was a solopreneur. She works full-time as a nurse, and so she didn't really have that much time to focus on her business. And then last but not least, Jasmine has never taken a business or marketing course, right? She's a background in healthcare. So that was a big challenge for her, jumping on Amazon and trying to take on e-commerce. Now, the main thing that we see in most businesses is 3 factors, right? They have no time, they have no e-commerce experience, and they have no team to help them. It's just them by themselves. Now, with our company, Shop How, one of the first things we try to do is have our team of e-commerce experts come in and help her product listing, right? And as you can see here with this photo, that picture doesn't really communicate the value of what it does. I told you it's an amazing product, but she wasn't communicating that to her customers. So with our company, we went to work working on her listings. We did work on creating infographic, getting professional product photography, really highlighting the value of her product to the customers on Amazon. On top of that, we also added in some SEO, right? Because Amazon's a search engine. So we went ahead to really focus in on how we can make sure that when someone searches for a product that satisfies their needs, which, making sure their plugs are not exposed to their kids, that her product would pop up as a useful one, again, getting naturally closer to page 1 where all the sales happen. So after we did those things, we managed her store, our team, myself, I have 3 years of Amazon experience, and then last but not least, we helped her with her advertising. While she had spent $1,000 and saw very little return, we were able to manage her funding for her and give her a healthy return on her investment, with her sales increasing by 70%. Now, with our services, we focus on mainly Amazon, but they're also very useful for other businesses outside of that realm as well. We also have social media management services, as many businesses need to launch successfully. We also help with web design, and last but not least, their tax and accounting. Now, our thing is we make e-commerce easy, right? And that's to help them unlock more time and grow their income without any experience necessary. Now, our target market to accomplish this are people just like Jasmine, right? There are people who are primarily mothers, right? We focus on moms who have product-based businesses. They're making $1,000 to $50,000 per month on Amazon in online sales, as well as they basically are working a second job and have shown traction with 3 to 24 months of sales. Now, we chose this target market primarily because they satisfy our 3 key things, right? 1, they're chronically overextended. 2, they have no e-commerce experience. And last but not least, they have no team. Now, the way we look to get to our products to the market is through thought leadership and referrals. Thought leadership because we know many small businesses are trying to bootstrap. They're trying to find resources and experience online before they go and spend the big bucks. So we try to basically focus on having our products be provided, our services be provided with free information online on our website, on social media, as well as on the Amazon Black Business Accelerator. We are a member and a part of the Connect cohort. Now, we currently do a growth forums where we promote our services to the Amazon BBA program, as well as promoting many of our content freely on social media so people can go on, like it, and then learn more about us. Now, we also have a referral program where we currently have with Kaizen Logistics and also a new one, Helium 10, where essentially we provide our services to them and they essentially give us their customer base in return for a referral fee. Now, compared to our competitors, the main thing that Shop Howell is our old name, has over our competitors is that where most of the other companies only focus on those first 4 services, we go a step further. And the main reason is because we want to be a customer. We want our customers to be satisfied, not just in the current moment of their business, but as they grow, they can still count on our services to help them grow and succeed. So, I think we skipped this slide. But yeah, we do offer a full service solution. Secondly, we offer quality. And last but not least, we do try to focus on giving our customers the value of understanding that we care, right? We understand that small business owners, they love and care about their businesses and they want people to feel the same, right? So we try to showcase them that we're gonna basically be there for them. We help them with other things aside of that, including their packaging. And any other need they might have, we try to be their decentralized team to make sure that they're fully taken care of. Now, my team is comprised of myself, founder and CEO, and I have a head of operations, Mariana Caseno, who has years of project management experience. We have Victoria Suarez, who has experience as a business owner with a dance studio, as well as she's our web designer and also an analytics person. We have Stephanie Vara, who currently has experience with over 30 plus companies and one of the top design agencies in Venezuela. And we have Bibiana, who's a brand assistant who has experience with client relationship management. We also have 2 new people, Sabrina Perduca, who's our social media manager, as well as Manuel Ortega, who's our new graphic designer. Now, our cost structure is very unique, right? So we understand that essentially we have many different revenue models, so we're gonna focus on just 2, just kind of go with. First and foremost is our social media model. Now, because our average team cost is very low, we're able to provide outsized value at a low and affordable cost, which we know small businesses need to kind of survive and grow their businesses. So as you can see here, for a selling price of $400 a month for 12 posts per month for social media, we're able to satisfy a healthy profit with the monthly break-even units of 2. And with listing optimization, essentially making their pages look better, we can do that again with 2 units with a selling price of $582, just under $600. Now, our financial projections, we show we're going to have this year a net profit of $25,000, but we see that growing to $167,000 next year as our client base grows, and then up to $386,000 the year after. Now, our funding need, essentially, we're looking to raise around $35,000 in a mixture of grants and line of credit. So currently, we have actually already had about $30,000 in grants, 35 actually, forgot one. And so we're growing very healthily. We've gotten a lot of awareness, but we're looking to kind of have extra funds to help us sustain ourselves as we grow and build up our client base. This will primarily be used for software as we're very data-centric. We want to make sure that our companies are growing using data because we understand that's the future of digital marketing. In addition, the rest of it will be used to help with funding capital and getting our team to grow. Currently, our partners are Howell CPA, which manages our tax and accounting services. We have Chris Lee Photography, that does our photography, professional photos for our company, as well as Kaizen Logistics providing referrals. And one more, again, is Helium 10. We currently have other resources such as Optimize You, which is a current accelerator program we're a part of, along with the Amazon BBA program and the Connect cohort. Now, currently we're looking for help with growing, one, our client base. Secondly is options for low interest lines of credit. And last but not least for businesses, because we understand that many small businesses are looking to grow on Amazon. They need our services, so we can help them, and you guys can help someone else too. So, yeah. And so currently, with our milestones, we actually got everything. I forgot to change the slide. So yeah, we checked off everything, guys. It's amazing. So we knocked all this stuff out. We got our person about 2 weeks ago. But yeah, so one of the things I want to close off with is, many small businesses struggle to grow and succeed. And we've seen the tremendous things in our company since we started, right? First and foremost was that I was surprised to see that literally vast majority of our clients were women-owned businesses, because after COVID, many women who were at home started taking up their dreams after they were able to have free time. And so one of the things I'm proud to say is, 100% of our clients have been minority-owned, 88% have been women-owned businesses, and 2/3 of them are women-owned businesses. And again, we have increased our sales at least by 70%, so we're kicking ass. So thank you, and ready to have any questions.
Awesome job. I've got to be honest, it is not easy to be on this stage. And it is not easy. He actually has a refreshing coconut. You can't see it. You got to come over here. Shouts out to the people at the coconut stand. But amazing job. And we will be fielding questions from all of our alumni, presenters, and business owners at the end of all of this. But I would be remiss if we did not bring up the amazing, the incomparable Mr. Daniel McVeigh.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody. Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted to be here. My name is Daniel McVeigh, and I'm the founder of Appreciable Art. We're a team of watch experts who are revolutionizing the way people display, experience, buy, wear, and store luxury watches by reinventing watch ownership post-sale. We're introducing a novel way to display your luxury timepiece, disassembled on your wall, and then assemble it upon request. Before I explain the how, I'd like to share with you a couple consumer stories. Customer one is the collector, our primary market segment. He has a number of watches that he's collected throughout the years and sees some watches as investments, some watches as collectibles, and some watches as fine works of art. Watch collectors like this often face a significant problem. They love and appreciate their watches and wear a good number, but a good majority get locked into the safe and never see the light of day. They have another problem in that they have an intimate relationship after wearing a watch for a number of years, but have never experienced their watch disassembled for any significant period of time. For the collector, watches don't have to be expensive to have meaning. I'm a great illustration of customer two. I knew growing up that if you had a Rolex watch, you made it. At 19, after successfully exiting my first startup and spending years dreaming about buying a luxury timepiece, I bought a two-tone Rolex Submariner that you'll see later. Now, after having owned it for almost a decade and taken it quite literally all over the world, I'd like to memorialize this watch and temporarily retire it to a wall display so I can continue to appreciate it while I develop a new appreciation for my new watch. This is very common, where people buy what are called milestone watches, each watch symbolizing a new chapter in your life. A concept that I didn't understand when I bought my watch that I now know today is that the entire time I was wearing my watch, it was actually making me money. In fact, every single item in my wardrobe over the last 5 years has depreciated in value, except my watch, because the watch that I bought for $8,700 9 years ago is now worth $17,000. And that's not even an impressive return, as you can see some much larger returns above. With this in mind, I'd like to introduce you to the third market segment. The new watch investor. This could be anyone, old, young, rich, poor. Perhaps they see the opportunity to make money by investing in a watch or in disassembling it on the wall, or they would like to wear a nice watch on a daily basis and sell it for a handsome profit down the line, and need help maintaining that watch during its ownership. So how does this work? We have a selection of standard frames that people can choose from and offer custom frames with a variety of wood selections. After a client has decided on the frame that they want, we receive payment through our website, we send them a box, they package their watch, and they ship it back to us to be disassembled or assembled. Provide maintenance to the services of the watch, and a whole host of other offerings, and then ship it back to you. Keeping this in mind, I'd like to refocus on the two problems that Appreciable Art aims to solve. One, a watch owner needs a unique way to display their watch. By providing the watch in our frame product, the watch stays unworn in the same way that leaving it in the box would, preserving maximum resale value. It can be assembled upon request in less than 5 days. It serves as a unique watch display that remains visible year-round, and is an excellent conversation piece. Capitalizes on the fact that watches have over time appreciated in value, and is a beautiful work of art that takes the traditional guessing of buying traditional art out of the equation. Keeping this in mind, we present an opportunity that we aim to capitalize on, which is how do we become integral to this, supporting all the times the watch is not in the frame. Traditionally, watch services needed to be conducted locally. With Keeper, our post-sale services, we're able to facilitate routine maintenance, insurance, cleaning and polishing, repair, and the eventual sale while transitioning into or out of our frame. We just demonstrated multiple market segments and multiple product lines. Each market segment becomes more narrow with first-time buyers that are purely looking for Keeper services at the top, and with collectors with luxury watches at the bottom. So how are we going to do all this? I thought you said you were a lawyer. So that's a great question. We're going to use our watch partner. Our watch partner is based here in downtown Miami, in the jewelry district, and they assist us with all the services that we need to provide our product, including assembly, disassembly, repair, insurance, polishing, cleaning, the entire lot. Let's talk numbers. We charge $450 for a standard frame, but pricing scales up based on the frame selection. We also have a proposed subscription model that will allow customers to select multiple frames and a set cadence on how often they'd like to rotate watches in and out of the frames. It costs us $185 plus an additional $60 that we pay to the watchmaker. Every sale of the frame includes prepayment of an assembly up front. We intend on launching in phases. We're currently designing a storefront display that will allow walking traffic and existing Corner Sky customers to be able to see our product in person. We'd like to then drive sales to our website eventually. While we have no direct competition, we do find it helpful to look at other available alternatives in the marketplace, like the Watch Safe or Watch Winder that you see above. This is key because we believe that being first to market in this space is going to create a premium experience and increase the trust factor that's vital with our customers. This business is not easily duplicated because the barriers to entry are high, considering a partnership and the development of a sophisticated watch workshop is needed. I successfully exited my first company in 2013 and subsequently attended law school at the University of Miami. I currently work at a SoftBank-backed startup called Papa and practice data privacy law. We've brought on an experienced web developer to help design, and she currently works at JP Chase. We're looking to bring on a CEO, COO to run the daily operations of the business. Thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing me to explain to you how we can change watch ownership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Wow. So the crowd got a little bit bigger while you were up here, which is always a nice feeling. I'm actually going to ask all of our alumni presenters to come back on stage. First and foremost, for those of you who just got here, let me just explain what's going on. These three young people were once you at one point. They all sat in a classroom, learned about business and entrepreneurship, and they actually have built businesses of their own from that point. They actually have each completed competing in our Founders Forum competition, which just happened 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. So this is the connection of what you do in the classroom to what actually happens in the real world. And I do want to take a few moments to just speak with them about their experience, and we'll take some questions from the audience as well. What are we looking at time-wise? Beautiful. So we've got time to have an actual conversation. Hi.
How you doing?
Hey.
I'm doing pretty good. One of the young men handed me a napkin because apparently I was sweating just a little bit. These lights, it's not easy being up here, I promise you that. So, each of you has a different journey. Each of you has had a different experience. What would you say was the hardest thing that you had to learn on your journey? We'll begin with Kristen. There's a mic behind you.
Probably the hardest thing for me along the journey is when you have an idea and you don't, with the help of Nifty, it really provided the structure. So I think oftentimes when you're starting a business and you're not sure about the industry or where to even start, Nifty provided that backbone and really just solidifying, you have to do the market research, you have to put in the work, and really trying to understand your audience. Like for instance, my product, I design baby bags for men. I don't look like a man, do I? But that doesn't mean that I can't provide that product. I had to actually go out there, do the surveying, put in the work. And so that was probably the hardest part, is really just trying to solidify the idea and make sure that it's working with the market.
Awesome.
For me, I think the hardest part is that there's going to be, knowing that there's going to be a lot of things that you don't want to do that you have to do to get to your goal. I thought that I'd be able to kind of sift out the things that I didn't want to do and focus exclusively on the things that I did want to do that brought me happiness. And I realized very quickly that it doesn't really work that way, right? There's going to be a lot of pain before you feel the fruits of your labor. And so I think that was one of the biggest adjustments for me.
I would say for me, the hardest part was getting started, right? I think, when you want to start a business, one of the hardest things is, there's so many cool ideas, so many cool problems you want to solve. And for me, I messed around with several different business ideas for a long time, but I never planted my feet. And I just said, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I think for a long time, I spun my wheels. And I think the biggest thing sometimes is just getting your feet wet and saying, you know what, no matter what happens, I'm going to see this through. And literally, my business, it's funny when I talk about it because, this is my third version of it that I finally, am cracking and the code on it. But the thing was, it's ironic that the two past failed versions of it are actually literally the reasons why I'm successful at this, because it gave me the experience. And so for all of you, I would say that's the biggest thing, is just getting started and really planting your feet and saying, it's like they say, burn the boats, right? Just don't give yourself a way out and just figure it out, right? Because that's all business is just not giving up.
I love the I love the fact that you said burn the boats, right? No plan B. And I love the fact that you spoke about the fact that failure helped you to get to success. So my next question is actually going to be along those lines. What was one failure that you experienced that helped you to get better at your business?
Okay, I'm going to bring it back way back when I was in high school, and I entered into my first Nifty competition. So I actually had the same idea, but it was completely redesigned as far as the branding purposes. But when I entered into my first competition, I lost. Not even came close, nowhere near. And I was like, why not? Well, I had an idea, but I had really nothing behind it. I didn't have a prototype. I didn't have a design. And so people couldn't really visually see or really resonate with the product. And so that was a total bust, my first competition. Later, I came back to Nifty a few years later, and I was determined. I saw everyone already had a prototype, or everyone was already launching their business. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? Well, I've never sewed an item in my life. So I went to my mom and my grandma, and I was like, I have this idea, and how I'm gonna do it. I didn't have a sewing machine at the time, so I hand-stitched that baby bag, thread by thread. And then later through Nifty, I got enough funding to actually purchase a sewing machine. And so this design is my second prototype, which me actually using the sewing machine. So that was one thing I had to overcome.
That's awesome. Daniel.
That's a tough one. I feel like for me, it's hard to identify a real failure, because I think failure is part of the innovation process, right? I feel like once I feel like something gives me the inkling of failure, I'm already pivoting to figure out what the next thing is. And so I don't really feel like I've had that massive oh no moment where everything went wrong. I've had micro things that have gone wrong, and I've had to make quick adjustments, but I would say that's my best advice, right? Try to not get to the point of total failure, right? And be at a small micro failure that you're I can fix this. I can salvage this. I can make this, work to my next venture,
So I would say the failure that I kind of hinted at in the beginning. Long story short, after COVID started, I started selling on Amazon. I started flipping products, and I got pretty good at it. And I was hitting about, up to $13K a month in sales. And so I thought, okay, great, I need to scale this because it's doing great, and I can't have like a bunch of products in my house because it was looking like a mess. I tried growing it out with, buying from brands, and the problem that I ran into was trying to buy things wholesale was incredibly competitive because, one, it takes a lot of money to compete at that level to get things at a low price. And so long story short, I ended up losing a lot of money because I'd buy something to sell, it would get there late because of supply chain issues, as you guys already know with COVID, and then I couldn't compete with the prices. But the irony was it taught me how to sell at that level. So now essentially I help other people succeed where I failed, which is the irony, right? It's like literally that's a part of my selling point now. It's like it became a part of my success. It's like I know how to do this because I failed at it. So trust me, I got you. You know what I mean? It's kind of funny how the irony is like, and I think for a lot of things in life, we don't always see it that way. We think I failed and that's it. But a lot of times your failures can be important lessons in your life. And I think it's important, after you kind of, grieve a little bit, but take that time to think back and be like, what can I learn from this? Because literally, if I just quit at that second failure, I would not be here. You know what I mean? It was because I stuck my ground and I was like, you know what, let me figure this out. And trust me, it's hard in those moments, right? As many of them already probably attest, like, it can be difficult when you feel like, can you imagine, I went from 13K in sales to 400 a year after I started the business. I felt so bad. I felt miserable. I felt sad. I felt depressed. But it's like, if I had just stuck with that, I would not have been here. I had to be like, okay, it sucks, right? I literally could look at the graph of my sales and be like, but it was just good to kind of finally get to the point where I'm just like, okay, it's not helping me, but you all have to kind of just stick through it and just get there.
That is a powerful lesson, and thank you very much for sharing that. I do want to give anyone from the crowd who has any questions that they may want to ask any of our alumni. The floor is yours if you have questions.
We don't bite.
Not all at once.
It's too early, I get it. I was late too.
I have one young lady. Hold on, I'll bring you the mic.
So I heard about one prototype with a baby bag experiment with the hand stitching. Can I hear about the other two? First time making your product, and how did it go? What went wrong? What happened? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't my first product, right? But I mean, I think the prototype phase is wrought with failure, right? Like the first time building the watch box, we were figuring out how to keep the components on the wall and not all fall to the bottom of the frame. So there's definitely like, where are we gonna put the tiny, tiny pieces that don't fit in the frame? I mean, we encompass what we call the spirit of the watch in the frame, but that doesn't mean that we put every single component in the frame. So we have behind the frame an envelope with the spare parts, but figuring out what would go in the spare parts bin versus what would be able to be displayed in the frame was an iteration process, right? Like, oh, that's not quite gonna work. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I mean, you find when building a product, you're gonna say that's not gonna work a lot.
One more time.
Yeah, in your prototype, like when you were, creating your product, what were the failures that occurred in that prototyping that then you fixed as you went to like a more advanced prototype?
Ooh, yeah, I would say definitely. And my business kind of changed a little bit because initially I was selling products from brands, but now I manage their products. So there's no risk really in that way, right? So it actually is a benefit because now I just get I get a percentage of their profit versus having to buy their product, and if it doesn't sell, I'm stuck with it. So again, a failure turned into a lesson, which turned into a success. So yeah.
And the cool thing about his product is that every time he does this, it gets better, right? Like every single listing from when he first started to now is better, So he's constantly prototyping to create the best version of his services for his clients. I mean, I think that's when you're in a service business and you are the service, you're the prototype. It's the same thing as a physical product.
I've never heard that before, but you are the prototype. That is very true.
That is powerful. You need to add that. And Kristen.
No, I think she already said
All
what
right.
she heard, yeah.
We've got about 6 minutes. So in about a minute or less, if you could, one takeaway that you want all of these young people to walk away with based on your experience, your challenges, your wins, and where you are now. We're going to do this a little different. We're going to start with Javon this time. You're welcome.
Okay, so it's funny looking back at you all now. I'm like, damn, that was a long time ago. Seriously. But no, I think the main thing, like I said, I think just getting started, man. Like, I think I knew for a very long time since middle school that I wanted to have my own business, but it took a long time for me just to get the courage to do it. And so I know for a lot of you, you might not know what you want to do yet or wonder, like, how to get started. And I think just like, many of us, like with Kristen, where she said she just picked up a needle and just started to sew, a lot of times we get caught up thinking, oh my God, this is so difficult. Like, I'm sorry, Google's out there. You can figure out how to do anything these days. You could probably Google how to build a rocket and find a really good, you know what I mean? You don't have to be a rocket scientist. It's all out there. Probably, right? It's like the world's your oyster in a way, and it's getting better and better. Things are much easier to find. And I think don't psych yourself out. Don't overthink. I overthink. Write things down, plan your goals, set milestones, because honestly, the best thing you guys have on have with you right now is time. You're so young. You have so much room to fail and succeed, right? So fail early and fail fast. That's my thing.
Daniel.
Yeah, my best advice would be don't underestimate the value of education. Like, school sucks if you're doing it right? It's not fun. If it is, you have a secret that you should share with everybody. Like, it's not a fun process, and most people with advanced degrees did not enjoy going through that process, but it was necessary, right, to grow as a person and to be able to have the kind of credibility and credentials to open up doors that were previously closed. Like, I remember when I started my first company at 18, I had graduated high school. I was ambitious and eager, but I had no degree. And the reality of a startup in that environment was that it was much more difficult. Like, getting a check for $1 million is traditionally not given to someone that can't be trusted, And so to create that trust, I found education was like that gap filler, right? Like it sped up time, so to speak, right? Whereas instead of doing something that would have taken me 5 years, I was able to do it in, a much shorter period of time. And so I would not underestimate the value of that education, and also that the journey is going to be more difficult than you anticipate. Like, I thought that success would be difficult, but I didn't think it would be as challenging as it actually was. Like, I thought, million by 22, and the reality of that was that didn't happen, And so I think, like, it was nice to have these ambitious goals, but realize that if you don't reach them, that's just part of the process, right? And you just keep trucking on until you do. And so live strong.
Kristen.
They give excellent advice. I hope you guys are all wakened by now and listening. Something that I would say is just every opportunity, just go out there and try it and go get it and really give it your all. You guys are all in Nifty right now, and they're just setting you up for success. We are all in our either late or early 20s, and we are still here representing Nifty today. That's just truly how strongly in our affinity is for them and our passion for Nifty and what they do. Originally, little backstory, when I was in high school, I did dual enrollment, and I was actually on track. I was going to be a dental technician, and so I was going to go on and graduate and become a dentist. That is not what I actually planned to do. And after trying Nifty, I found out that my passion was truly in the business sector, in entrepreneurship, and that's what truly set my soul kind of on fire. But I would have never have known that if I hadn't tried Nifty and really given it my all with the resources that are right in front of me. So that's just my advice. Just take up every opportunity granted to you.
Can I add one more thing?
Absolutely.
I think no matter what you do in your life, you're an entrepreneur. No matter what. If you're a rank and file employee doing administrative paperwork, you are an entrepreneur, and you have the ability to build your own destiny. Think of your life like a business. What am I going to invest my time in, and what return am I going to get on that time investment? Think about things from the entrepreneurial mindset in ways that are not traditionally the entrepreneurial box.
I love that. That is an amazing last word to go out on. Javon.
Entrepreneurship, I think, is the word, right?
Yes.
You can be innovative and creative even working inside of a company too, right? And I think that's a key thing. You don't always have to go out there and make your own thing. I think it's cool. but right, I might have some bias. But I think you can also be creative and amazing inside of a company too. So, yeah.
Awesome. First and foremost, I would like to extend my extreme appreciation to these young, amazing innovators for being willing to spend part of their day with us. If we would please give them a round of applause. And they will be on hand if you have any other questions about how they managed to be successful and also their nifty journey. Thank you so very much, eMerge. We outside. Now to the next part of the program.